those things. They're not going to mention my father was in 20 years as a counter-revolutionary. And I said, no, that's not right. Okay. And I make my own speech, and I give it to my brother, say, okay, you can say a few words for father. This is the last word. And my brother was angry, okay, because he agreed the party branch speech. He disagreed my speech. And I said, what's going on? Our father was wrong, and he got a rehabilitation. You have to tell the truth. And, you know, the authority is not allowed to do so. And my brother said, no, we can't. Okay, we have to follow the authority. I said, well, in my writing, is there anything wrong? Nothing wrong. This is fact. And my brother said, no. And I said, okay, I don't want to argue. Okay. Our father was died. We have to pay our contribution to him. Okay. So anyway, my brother compromised and settled down with the party branch and have the ceremony. 200 people, my father's schoolmates, everybody come. And suddenly my brother say, I can't talk, you go ahead. So I was pushed by my brother and do the ceremony. I make a speech. Of course, I remember I was rehabilitated from the prison camp only a year. Okay. So I say, well, I remember my father was persecuted by Communist Party. Something about his life. And the party branch secretary was very angry. He right away leave the conference and leave the place and back home. That's okay. I said, well, whatever you want. And then everything go away, and then we came home. Then my brother and me have the last talk. That was in 1980. Since then, we never talked to each other. Okay. And my brother first, he said, do you know there were so many people, but only you was labeled by the Communist Party as a counter-revolutionary rightist. Have you think about it? Do you think you are responsible for the family suffering? And not all the rightists were sent to the labor camps. And you were sentenced to prison camp for life. And you never think that you have responsibility? And I say, well, even today, the Communist Party give me the rehabilitation. They said this is their mistake. And why you want to stand the opposition? Criticize me. I was innocent, and I was suffering with my family. My mom committed suicide. My brother was killed. My father was tortured to die. It's not my responsibility. And my brother said, no, you're responsible for that. And I said, okay, keep your voice, keep your sound, keep your voice. And we separate. So, 27 years now, we don't have any connection. Okay. That's why you can see not only the family, but also someone like me. spent many years in the prison camp. Today they released. I still have a connection with them. They're still inside China. And they say, well, don't say anything about the authority. Don't criticize them. We have life, that's it. So China's situation is very, very difficult. Okay. Even I want to memorize the anti-rightist movement. Even I want to set up a meeting. Okay. Last year, 2007, is the 50 years anniversary of the anti-rightist movement. We estimate probably 1 million people was as a counter-revolution rightist. After 50 years until today, we collect the information, probably only 10,000 survived. The youngest like me, 71. Only a few of them, 70 years old or 69. Most of them, 75, 80, 85, that's years. So we called a meeting last year in Washington, D.C. I invite all of them come to the United States, but only a few, they came. So this is the situation, the human being situation.
Quindi il padre poi è stato degradato in banca e poi in seguito ha sempre lavorato in banca oppure è andato a pulire la città, come diceva? No?
My father come from the countryside. It seemed my father was my father's father, it means my grandfather. I don't have exactly the information, but it seems my grandfather was a small landlord. That was the later Qing dynasty. And at that time, there's another rebellion for the peasants. So the rebel peasants destroyed my grandfather's property, whatever, I don't know about it. And my grandfather have 3 kids. Elder sister, I never met him. And I have uncle is elder than my father, but he was passed away in 1940s. I only saw his graveyard. That's it. So, and my father is a poor student, and he was in St. John's University. Graduated, but he don't have money. And then he, step by step, become a manager. But when he, in 1949, when he become a kind of a rich, so my father when my father liked hunting, he had 5 guns. All the winter time he went to hunting the sheep, the deer, and the ducks, whatever. We have 2 dogs. And then he ordered the automobile from the United States. And well, it's kind, we have 4 sevens. It's a pretty good life. And then 49, a kind of a stable. In 1952, the Communist Party take away all the properties. And my father was detained probably 2 months, interrogate him, and it didn't punish him. They punished the boss, and he was dropped to the manager, to the clerk. So this is the problem. the family law, the economic sources. And in 1957, we got a persecution. Yeah.
E quindi cos'è successo dopo al papà, dopo il 57?
Oh, he was labeled same as me. It's counter-revolutionary rightist. And she was, his brother, sister was grown up. The youngest son was grown up later. He was individually lonely. I do not know that what's going on. I was in the labor camps. In 1979, I released from the camp. I feel very bad to go back, very difficult. So I not really go back to the home right away. Because the first thing I feel is it difficult to walk on the street. Physically, I can't walk on the street. But I also feel, geez, it's another world. Nobody recognized me. Many people say, well, we was informed that you will die 20 years now, and we fortunately still get you back. And I don't know that how to walk on the street, because I was in the camp. I disappeared from the society. So I wait for about half year, and I back home. I didn't inform my father. I was arriving in Shanghai at the noontime. I walk around the street, I pass over my old house. I want to tell the people that I'm here, but I can't. Okay. I'm waiting for the evening coming and dark, and then I walk to my family. The whole house was divided, 6 different families move in. Okay, so I knock on the door was open. Very small lights, a small figure there. For my view, that my father was a big figure, but he was 79 years old, a small figure. And I right away said, yeah, this is my father. We both of us, we didn't say anything about it. And I right away feel that I have to make him secure. I move my hand, hold his arm, say, I'm here. Means I'm not like a ghost, okay? And then he turned back. I follow him back to the room. And we didn't talk anything about it. He just feel one thing. He say, I always feel one day you will come back. And I say, I was sentenced to life. He said, I know that. But I'm waiting for you to come back. And I said, I'm here. Then later he died.
Quanto tempo dopo morì?
One year. Before he died, the British came back in 1980. The British sent a letter to the family, and she transferred the letter to me and asked me to come back home. And I come back home. she said, I'm ashamed. I have no face to see my friends. And please, you can go. You see, I can't have my girlfriend.
Gli inglesi dissero di tornare a casa, dove? A casa. Quali inglesi scrissero a tuo padre?
Oh, okay.
Quali inglesi?
Okay.
Chi erano gli inglesi?
I do have the name, but I don't remember in this moment. He was Lord of British, and she is number one rich man in Hong Kong. He owned a big company in Hong Kong. 1949, he left. He never can come back to United States, come back to China. And 1980, Chinese reopened the door so he can come back. He was quite old. He retired. He passed over his power to his nephew. So I went over there to meet him. He's an old man. He said, "Where's your father?" I said, "Unfortunately, he was passed away." He said, "Oh, that's too bad. I always want to see him." Your father is an honest man, and unfortunately, in the last 30 years, I have no way to come back to see him. Now it's open, and I will come back to see him. I said, unfortunately, he was gone. And she said, "Okay, well, if you need any help, here's my nephew. He will help you." Yeah. I'll give you the name later.
Sì. Ma lui prima di venire lì a trovarvi aveva scritto a tuo padre una lettera? Stavi raccontando prima. Questo lord inglese aveva scritto una lettera a tuo padre prima di venire a trovarvi?
No. He sent a letter to my father was August 1980. So my father passed the letter to me. I was working in the Wuhan, a different city. So I came back to Shanghai, and my father was passed away in September. And then I come back again in October to meet the British. Yeah.
E il padre quindi ha fatto, che lavori ha fatto dal 57 fino all'80? Che lavori ha fatto? Prima era degradato in banca e poi che lavori ha fatto?
No, my father was, after 1952, he was dropped from the manager back into the bottom. It means very small clerk. He was in the bank, give the payment sheet and whatever, these accounting things, that's only job. But later, probably 1953 or 54, he was transferred to a high school to teaching English. And then 1958, he was retired. After the retire, he was accused as a counter-revolution rightist. And he swept the street all the time, just not really a kind of job. It's a punishment.
Ah, ecco. E questo lo ha fatto fin quando non è arrivato Deng Xiaoping.
Yes, until 1979, and later he will die. Yeah. Deng Xiaoping is nothing.
No, è venuto dopo. Deng Xiaoping è venuto dopo.
Deng Xiaoping was come to the power in 1978. Mao Zedong was died in 1976. And during 76 to 78, the 2 years is on the leadership, a very seriously power struggle. I was in the camp. We know that it's a very critical situation. Either we have to escape, or either we will kill by the authority. You see, if the Game of Four means Mao Zedong and whatever, Game of Four, they grab the power, they probably will kill us. Okay. Finally, Deng Xiaoping take it over. So 1978, Deng Xiaoping come to the arrest the Game of Four and become the powerful people. And then 79, they release all the writers, controversial writers. Okay. But we know that Deng Xiaoping is not really good. Is a very critical guy. Okay. He was in 1957. His major punished the writers. So that's why so-called counter-revolutionary writers got a correction, got a rehabilitation, not completely. Deng Xiaoping said, this anti-writers movement is too expanding. How expanding? 99% of the writers got the rehabilitation. Only a few still have the cap, have the right, not going to rehabilitate. But he said this movement is right because it's handled by him. It's a new dictators. Okay. But anyway, it's not only anti-writers movement. Deng Xiaoping is worked very hard with the Chairman Mao. Okay. Unfortunately, Mao want to become an employer and make Deng Xiaoping a kind of suffering there. But anyway, they are communists. I want to emphasize one thing that is a personal situation. But in China, the Chinese, if they heard about my story, they would not feel this is a kind of strange or whatever. It's quite common. Okay? I only spent 90 years, whatever. But some people's father was died and the brother sister. It's a very quite common story. The number of the people is very large. You have to know 2 classes, all the members. I want to say almost no one escaped, no one survived. Okay. Even today, not many people talk about it. But anyway, I definitely, sometimes later, the people will talk about it. We will not forget the story. We will not forget the Laogai. Okay. Whatever, China become a democratic country, but the history is there. Okay. Horrible.
Molti di coloro che avevano partecipato idealisticamente alla cosiddetta rivoluzione poi sono stati puniti o addirittura uccisi. Questo secondo altre testimonianze. A lei risulta anche questo?
Yeah. You see, 1949 to 1950-51 is so-called land law reform. They punished, they persecuted most of the people is landlord class, rich peasant class elements. Okay. And then 1952 to 54, mostly the religions and the bourgeois class, capitalist class. So 1957 is a movement, very strange, okay? Because all of the people, 1950s, and 1 million people was persecuted. Many of them, they are communists. They are so-called a part of the people, the internal of the people, not outside the people. What I mean, in China, you have to know the people is very important political situation. Okay, if by the Communist Party say you are a member of the people, it means you are not enemy. The landlord class they are never as a member of the people. They are classified as enemy class, as an enemy group. They are not going to become a part of the people. Okay. So suddenly in 1957, 1 million people was labeled as a counter-revolutionary. So Mao Zedong said, these people is a part of the people, okay, not enemy, but they crossed the line, okay? So we have to handle them as outside of the people, as enemy. Okay. So this is so-called communism ideology. And after that, cultural revolution, there's no any enemies, class enemies. Okay. But the communism idea still be there. What is communism idea? Communism idea is this is the society, the people divided in different classes. And the class struggle is the major things in the society. Class and the class struggle. Class and the class struggle is major thing in this country, in this society. So even you can see that 1989, okay, the Tiananmen Square movement, how the Communist Party make it difference. It's this is a kind of disturbance by the capitalism. Hey, what is capitalism there? I want to make a joke. If today, I really want to become a communist revolutionary today. Okay, I want to launch in the communism revolution. Who is the target? Those people today in Communist Party. They are capitalists. They're working for Western, according to Chinese revolution. They're working for the capitalist, Western capitalist class. Okay. If today really have a revolution, these people is the target of the communist revolution. Okay. So this is history totally different now. That's I'm saying, are you going to change your party's name? You have to. Can you? This is an ideological crisis. That's why the government today said, okay, stop. Nothing can talk about the past. Have you find any Chinese communist medium today, from the TV to radio to newspaper, whatever propaganda, talking about the past? Nothing. Talking about future, talking about current situation. Okay. Even we, the counter-revolution writer, we ask for rehabilitation. We ask for, we have the rehabilitation. Actually, we don't have any penny from the government. Just a word, so, okay, you are no longer as a counter-revolutionary writers. You become a part of the people. That's it. But there's no any compensation to ours. So people say, okay, if you give me rehabilitation, you have to pay me back. In 20 years, I don't have any income. Okay? No money. So this is a funny thing, okay? Even today, still, some people say, we need rehabilitation. We want to have the compensation. And the Communist Party said, no, forget it. Don't make any requirement.
Il regime stava vacillando nel momento degli anni 60 in cui c'era stata la grande crisi economica e quindi c'erano i morti per fame.
That's a funny thing. This is handmade by the communists. You can see that until 1976, okay, control the whole country is by one man, Chairman Mao. Absolutely power, okay, from the top to everybody, every small village, every single person. Your life, your education, your job, your living condition, your food, everything is by Mao. Okay. After 1957, in February 1958, Deng Xiaoping assist Chairman Mao make a kind of a punishment. So counter-revolutionary writers was punished by 5 by workers, 4 in students, different level. Okay. The first level, right away, sent to the labor camps. Second level was expelled from the school and sent it to the countryside or the factory. The third level is my level. We was exiled. We have the cap, but we was under the civilian in the school. Okay. Different level punishment. It's made by Deng Xiaoping. And I want to tell you one thing, funny thing, okay? It's a funny story. In May 1st, 1958, in China, there's a movement, 3 days movement. What is the movement? Killing the birds. Why are they killing the birds? And Mao Zedong said, we need to kill the birds. We need to kill the rats, mouse. We need to kill mosquito. We kill the flies. We want to make a clean country. So first of all, kill the birds. What is it? 3 days in China. All the peasants, all the workers, all the people in the government stopped working, and everybody on the street, everywhere, tried to catch the birds, squirrel. Okay. The government didn't say, probably killed millions. They put the bird on the truck, tank truck, travel around the country, see, this is our achievement. We kill the birds. For what? The scientists helped it. Scientists say, each small bird, hey, we cut their stomach, we find many sears there. So one bird. If millions bird, they eat so many serious. So we have to kill the birds, because bird is a kind of damage, just like a fly is mosquito. Prove it. And everybody says, yeah, long live Chairman Mao. We do it. Okay. And this is political performance. You have to follow it. You can't say you cannot do it. You don't want to do it. That you will become another writer. Okay? Let me tell you, for example, after the May 1st, there's a professor in my opposition at another university. He said, well, it's a great movement. We kill millions of birds. But I wonder if one day we finally clean up China, there's no any birds. All the birds, just like flyers, like mosquitoes, clean up. But if the birds came from outside, for example, come from Burma, what should we do? He didn't oppose the movement, but the party bench writers say, okay, counter-revolution writers receive a cap. He become counter-revolution. That's it.
Chi?
Yeah. Okay. So I was there. I was on the top of the roof. Okay, and I have a kind of garbage can. Boom, 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 make a noise. The bird fly, boom, 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 and the flies drop down and catch the birds. That is China is a big country of the world. Whole country. Everybody kill the birds. Just exactly in very early year in Qing Dynasty, there's another story. They say, this is the horse, but actually it's a deer. Okay? In front of the Qing Dynasty, a guy was saying, all these senior governor was there. Hey, the people pulling a deer. Say, what is this? And the governor said, well, this is a deer. What is? It is a deer. But the guy said, I'm sorry, it seems like a horse. And some governor said, oh yeah, it's a horse. It's a horse. And some people argue with it. No, it is a deer. They argue. And then he called the guards, take away these people, kill it. I just say, this is a horse. Actually, it's a deer. And it's happened 1958. After the killing the bird, right away, great leap forward. Okay, and we want to pass over British and catch up United States. We want to make how many tons of steel and iron. We want to, we have to up the satellite. So-called satellite means we can grow to each small unit how many rice, how many corn. And then 1959, we don't have food. The people were starving. In 1960, many people died. And this is ever, never in Chinese history. We don't know exactly. And probably at least 30 to 40 million people died in China.
E com'è che poi è stata inventata la cosiddetta rivoluzione culturale? perché abbiamo sentito alcuni professori di lingua francese a Pechino che hanno avuto chiusa il Dipartimento di Università e sono stati mandati a fare i lavori forzati perché la lingua francese veniva considerata una delle lingue del capitalismo. Com'è che a un certo punto è sorta l'ondata chiamata rivoluzione culturale, l'ondata ideologica?
Well, I was in a camp since 1960s. So 1966, when the Cultural Revolution happened in China, I don't know. I was in a camp. We only know about the Cultural Revolution that the rear guards came to the camp. They want to prosecute some of them over here. Yeah, the first time they came and the police say, well, among the people here, all of them is a class enemy. They are target of the dictatorship. They are bad guy. But hey, this guy and this guy is much worse, okay? And the red guy grabbed them and beat them, kill it, that's it. But there's no any people support them because we are not people. We are a class enemy, okay? And they feel it's a very different situation. But later, the Communist Party make an order, the rear guards should not go to the prison camp, leave the prison camp themselves. So that's why some people tell us that, hey, wait, you are lucky. So what is lucky? Because you were in the prison camp. Nobody bothered you. So we were in the prison camp, but we didn't have any serious problem. We later had some people fight, or whatever, it's okay. We just quietly learned the newspaper, follow Chairman Mao, but not very seriously. Okay. So this is the situation about the Cultural Revolution. But we know what is it. Chairman Mao fell. In 1962, he made a self-criticism. This is the first time the Mao make a self-criticism. And he said, I want to retire. He back up in second line. And he fully authorized Liu Shaoqi and other leaders take care of the party, take care of the country. But Mao is very ambitious. He knows that. He want to become a king. Okay. He want to become emperor. So he still very care about it. And that's why finally in 1964, 1965, he prepared his power. Finally, he want to put the Liu Shaoqi down. Okay. But you have to know, Liu Shaoqi was entirely have the party system and government system everywhere. It's a big power system. It's difficult to get him down. But actually, Liu Shaoqi is very loyal to Chairman Mao. So that's why the Chairman Mao said, okay, we want to have another cultural revolution, whatever. And the first things, killing so-called bourgeois, landlords, and using the students to do so. Okay, the students never know about it. And then Mao Zedong named the students group as a so-called Red Guards. And Red Guards have the absolutely power. Okay, Red Guards can go everywhere, do whatever they want to do. They have to be the people, otherwise how the people scare? But actually there's nothing. There's no any serious political goal over there. Different regards, and all of them, they claim they are loyal to Chairman Mao. Just my youngest brother deep in the real area, two groups, whatever, why fight? Because I'm loyal to the Chairman Mao, you are not. And she said, no, I'm loyal to the Chairman Mao, you are not. That is the so-called fighting. Okay. Nonsense. Okay. But anyway, it killed a lot of people. And finally, Lin Biao rebelled, and Mao was died. It's a terrible situation. Okay. Cultural revolution include the people intent to do something, but actually, basically, it is a power struggle from the bottom to the top.
Allora, il lavoro nei campi in questi 19 anni, come si svolgeva, con quali strutture, cosa facevano i guardiani, che campi erano, questi dunque Laogai, per l'esperienza che ne ha avuto lei.
First of all, I'd like to talk a little bit about the Soviet Gulag. I visit the Soviet Gulag different places. I went to Magadan. And you know, Magadan was far, far east. It was...
C'è rumore, un attimo, c'è rumore nel microfono? Non si sente un rumore continuo? Qualcuno ha toccato qualcosa, c'è rumore. Ok, riprendiamo. Sì, adesso sì. Prego. Prego. Prego.
Okay. So, I saw the Magadan camp. There's a big museum there. And of course, today there's no one there. It was closed finally in 1956, and probably 1 million people there. It's a new city. I was there in 1997. Okay. It's a huge prison camp. The city hall, the major street, was built by prisoners. And even today, means 1997, 50% of the people, they are either former prisoners or president's family is still there. Okay. But I found one thing. Okay. Number one, not many people have a very long sentence. It doesn't like China. And there's a lot of lawsuit in the court. Sentenced 5 years, 8 years. A few of them sentenced more than 10 years. And Magadan was a very restricted area. Only in the summer, the ship from Vladivostok can go over there. So in Moscow, in the early spring, send a prisoner by the train all the way to Vladivostok, and then transfer them to Magadan, and later October finally close. No one can get out from there. But many of them actually is just labor, whatever. Okay. And I asked the people, say, what about thought reform? And of course they say, yes, there's a
Chiedo scusa, è tornato il rumore, se potete evitarlo per cortesia. C'è evidentemente, non so, però adesso non c'è più il rumore. Ok. Ok, va bene, prego, riprendiamo.
Okay. So the people have a kind
Adesso
of
invece non si sente nulla. Ecco, prego, prego. Prego, prego. È tornato il rumore.
Okay. So I asked these former prisoners in Magadan about thought reform, about the forced labor, and I would not say the forced labor is good, but compared with Chinese forced labor, it's not bad, you know. Majorly they still have enough food, okay? And they lost freedom, that's true. And I went to Vienna. I visit the Simon Wiesenthal, the Holocaust hunter. And she said, well, at the beginning, the Nazi idea is an evil idea, but implementary is same as the communism idea. But communism idea at the beginning is good, but finally it's the same thing. And this is very similar that my thought, okay. I do think there's a long way to explain what is the thought reform, what is the Laogai system. Very difficult, okay. But they have to. First of all, let me give you some example. The communist leaders say, we like to see two products from the prison camp. What? Number one product is qualified person. Second product is the real products who made by the prisoners. Two different products. Okay. And Chinese document is that thought reform through the hard labor. Okay. Number one, thought reform. Number two, forced labor. Forced labor is necessary, but thought reform is important. And these are Chinese language in all their documents. Now, how to do it? Number one, everyone are forced to labor. Have no doubt. Whatever you like, you don't like. In China, there's only one prison camp. It's not belong to security system. It's directly controlled by the Communist Party top leader, Qingcheng prison. It was supported by Soviet Union in the 1950s. The first group in the prison camp is former regime's officials, and include Japanese and Manchuria regime's officials. And then later is the Cultural Revolution prisoners. And then later is the people so-called during the Cultural Revolution prisoners, including Shao Qi's wife, Wang Guangmei. And then later, the Chairman Mao's wife, Jiang Qing, was there. And then even later, 1989, Tiananmen Square movement. In that prison camp, no forced labor. All of them is senior officers. Okay. except this camp. And this camp is still inside China. It's only controlled by the Communist Party, except this one. And all the camps controlled by provincial government. Okay. And all the people was forced to labor. And depend, if you're working in Chinese prison camp was divided in different enterprises. Either is a farm, is a mine, is a industrial company, construction company, manufacturing plant, whatever. And by law, that's legal that each camps have two different names. It's enterprises and prison. And normally the prison name is not like a show on the front, only enterprises. For example, 1994, a prison camp, is American enterprises in California. They import the diesel engine, from Yunnan #1 prison. But #1 prison, they have another name is Golden Horse Diesel Manufacturing. And we have the evidence, and we report to the customs, and the custom sees the products. American company have 14 years relationship with this enterprises. And custom see at the border, 49 big diesel engine. It didn't say made in #1 prison in Yunnan province. It said made in China, Golden Horse Diesel Manufacturing. Because the court needed evidence. The American company hired a lawyer, carry a camera back to China. And Chinese was cooperate with the lawyer, say, remove the prisoners, replace the prisoners by normal workers, and making the diesel engine. And he filmed it, say, hey, how are you? He said, fine, and are you a prisoner? He said, no, I'm not. I'm a worker. I graduated from the school. I have income or whatever. And he showed the tape to the court. So what can you do? American consulate in Chengdu, he went over there. It was the first trip. He walked around the facility.